Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation, and welcome to another Office Hours with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director and Head Containment Specialist here at Site 42. And once a day, for a streak nearly 6 months in the making, we have opened the office doors once a day for between 30 minutes to 3 hours to answer your deep and burning questions about the SCP Foundation. Whether they are questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff that contains them, the groups of interest who just are so angry about the whole containing thing, you wouldn't believe it. And finally, hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I am here today for the next 1 hour and 40 minutes to answer your questions. But before we begin, a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Junior Researcher Sally, congratulations on your #1 pinnacle of punctuality in being our first chatter of the day. Along with you, Chesta Factory, Rat, Anna and Friends Dog, Legendary Doge, Scarlet, Silent Follower, Scarlet Fox, Chaos Goblin Dog, Aoki, Dog, Dark Duality, Zerdrin, the Talenton X, Dark Shadow Fang, everybody whomst I have just named, thank you for your incredible punctuality, getting to hit stream right at the beginning, and also, thank you for being members. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially in the battle against the white names. Meanwhile, Sophie, Agatha, Plasma, Intern American, and Random Fandom. Thank all of you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here just for being you today. So, Dinah, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Twizzler on your way past the commissary. Hello again, Sherm. Well, hello to you as well. Alright. Closing a couple of excess tabs here. Good. The browser's all clear. We are live. Good to see you, desk. Active and ready for action. Okay. So, for just a moment, I'm going to address the main function of today's stream, the subject, if you will. That way, if people want to hunt that down early, they can see it here at the start of stream. But, are you familiar with this new hipster thing, you might not have heard about it, called generative AI art? You see, it's this whole thing where they take all of the works of a certain author, or multiple authors. They take all of the art created by human beings and they shove it into a machine. and this machine reconfigures the puzzle pieces and then spits something out. And as you can see by my chat right now, well, at least in arts communities, it's not very popular. Because, as much as we are all for luxury space communism and everything being shared, right now we live in capitalism. And in capitalism, if you don't own your art, anyone can take it and make things of it. It's not really beneficial to the artist in that case. Oh, but who it is beneficial to is the creators of the Gen AI platforms and to the CEOs who want to cut artists out of the process. Yes, if you can make a piece of art at the click of a finger, maybe you don't need to hire people to do it, and that saves you a lot of money. Except it isn't actually profitable. Because if you're familiar with the YouTube channel, The Council of Geeks, and Vera's secondary channel, The Break Room of Geeks, Vera just dropped a great video. Let me tell you about this more in depth. It'll just be faster than me telling you the whole story myself secondhand. But Vera's video is about why the AI actress Tilly Norwood will fail. In case you haven't seen this, there's some snake oil salesman AI CEO running around, oh my god, the agents are just dying to sign up our AI actress, who you can do anything with because she's just a character. And it's not going to work for multiple reasons that Vera clearly pulled out. It's on the Council of Geeks channel. AI actress Tilly Norwood will fail is the title of the video if you want to check that out. But the short version is that you can't ask an AI actress to do another take in a specific way as a director. You just have to generate the new take using lots of water, lots of electricity, wasting time for days waiting for the computer to generate it, and when it's wrong, you gotta do it over. You could do this very simply with an actress and just ask her to deliver the line a little differently. A little more, a little less, a little louder, a little quieter. It is infinitely cheaper to get a cheap actress to do this. And I'm not talking about the actress being cheap, just way cheaper than this AI platform that they're trying to hoist on us. That on top of the fact that a artistic medium like film, in this case, is collaborative. The conversations between a director and an actor point out what is going to come in the scene. And sometimes when you're on set, there's an emotional outburst that makes for really good art. It wasn't what you expected, and you get to go with the accidental takes if they're that good. You can't do that with AI. You gotta tweak it and maybe get it, and there's no collaborative effort. And so, with that in mind, just slight diatribe as an actor, that part of it means a lot to me. But also, you can imagine as part of a creative writing community, like the SCP Wiki, we are not exactly down with the whole being replaced by fake versions of our documents. And so, today, I'm going to tell you about the SCP Wiki's policy on AI-generated art. Because we had a whole community debate, we had a whole staff vote, and we have a posted rule about this. And so there's a lot of people who just seemingly don't know about this. So let me make it plain as day. Plain as day. Policy on the use of AI-generated media. The following is a simple list of the current status of specific policies regarding the use of AI-generated media across several branches of the SCP Foundation. Last updated June 14th, 2024. English Wiki. AI-generated content. The use of generated AI machine learning modules to generate user-facing content is banned. Booyah. Users who post AI-generated content to the SCP Wiki will receive a revocation of membership on their first offense and a permaban on the second. Good faith exception. This policy does not apply to properly cited images from external sources unless they were created by, for, or at the behest of the user who posted them to the wiki. There's a teeny tiny carve-out if you are citing something that was created for a reason. But if you made it yourself, then you can't cite your own work here because, again, AI art is not allowed without very tiny little changes. Furthermore, the usage of tools whose primary use is generative machine learning is also banned for user-facing content. All exceptions to this policy are on the following whitelist. And the whitelist is empty. There is no exceptions to that. And then examples of banned content include but are not limited to ChatGPT generated text, Mid-Journey and Stable Diffusion, AI voice generation. Trust me that Sora would be on that list, and Sora 2. Examples of allowed content. You can use a DeepL translator or Grammarly for proofreading or spell check assistance. No AI-generated content or AI revised or rewritten material. You cannot put, here is my little wannabe SCP document, now please rewrite it for me. That is not what we're doing here. You can use fractal generation programs. You can do traditional text-to-speech if the license is compatible with our Creative Commons 3.0 share-alike license with attribution. You can use AI-generated CSS code. So if you're worried about the formatting on the wiki and you don't know how to make a certain thing happen, you can use it to work with the formatting of the page. And you can write stories about AIs, but you cannot use AI to make those stories. So that is the English Wiki's canon. That is the wiki policy on AI-generated art. Now, the Korean branch just does the English wiki's version. The Russian branch uses the wiki's version, the English wiki's version. TH, which I believe is Thailand, maybe? Thailand uses the English wiki's rules. China considers AI-generated text to be non-original content and will be deleted without a countdown since the site only accepts original content. France has no policy yet but is discouraging AI. Italy, no policy but discouraging AI. ZH is traditional Chinese. And so they are doing no policy, but AI is discouraged. Is that Portugal? That's Portugal. Disallowed use of AI at all. Existent policy of Deutsch branch has no AI-generated articles. Espanol completely forbids AI-generated media. Japan completely forbids the use of AI-generated media. VN, is that Vietnam? I would assume. Yep, Vietnam explicitly forbids use of AI-generated media. The only branches that have any breaking from this policy are the UA branch. I don't know what the UA branch is. And the Czech Republic. Ah, yes. That is Ukraine and Czechs. Ukraine and the Czech Republic are the only ones that allow AI media as long as it is compatible by the Creative Commons share-alike license that the SCP Wiki uses. Which, if you think about it, since you can't copyright AI, technically they can't be CC either. Food for thought. So yes, 99% of the branches of the SCP community in its foreign language branches just no AI art, guys. It's not allowed. And another thing that you are going to have to deal with is a funny thing posted 1 year ago. Everyone's talking about the newly minted AI rules of the wiki. But one thing you would notice is that of the over 200 SCP articles that got put on the wiki before they were taken down because they were generated with AI and it was discovered that they were, only 2 of them ever managed to have positive upvotes before getting deleted. All of them, except for 2 of them, were in the negative votes, meaning they weren't good enough to be on the wiki in the first place, or someone figured out that they were AI and downvoted on that reason. AI is for nerds. No, I disagree, Ash. AI is not for nerds because nerds like working and doing stuff. So they would not be the ones using AI. A nerd would do better. So yes, I just wanted to bring this up to you guys in case you didn't know that the SCP had a straight up policy about this for our wiki. I mean, at the end of the day, we are an arts community made up of artists. And so we're not really the #1 people raving and ranting for ourselves to be replaced. You know what I mean? Now, personally, I also like to think that if you're here in this Site 42 chat, if you're part of the Containment Hazard Assessment team, it's because you want to hang out with me, talk with me, get answers from me. And I do hope that you guys would be among the betters who know that the character AI models of me, hot garbage. They do not sound like me. It is not worth it. And I hope that by doing these daily streams, we can put that kind of thing out of business. Because, hey, you know what? If the real thing's here, who needs a vague and lame facsimile? But keep an eye out for AI when you're looking at SCP projects. Today's article is because I'm in a fight with some children in a TikTok comment section about some TikToker making AI SCP art. And, oh no, AI learns, it doesn't learn. It's not a person. That's not how learning works. It's not how inspiration works. You can look at our SCP for some pretty good conversations about AI art, and you can tell who the community members are and who the fake fans are, so to speak. Because at the end of the day, the SCP Wiki is in agreement that the SCP community is anti-AI art. And so if all the creators are in agreement, and you're the one outsider fan saying, yeah, but I don't care what the creators think, you're not really a real fan, are you? Right? Am I in the right landscape here? That's kind of how I see it. Dark Duality, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a chimichanga on your way past the commissary. Before I knew about AI being a no-no, I tested with SCP text. AI failed hard. First of all, you saw nothing. And second of all, the only time AI did anything respectable with SCP content is the time where it wrote some really bad SCP documents and they tricked a billionaire venture capitalist into believing SCP is real, and he went public having a full-on psychosis meltdown. Cyber psychosis is real. We have found it, and it's because of these generative AIs. Red Bread, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some French fries on your way past the commissary. A new SCP called the Glizzy Gobbler. Your thoughts? Well, it's not a mobile task force, so we're not allowing it in the mobile task force hot dog eating contest. Disqualified. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a slice of pie on your way past the commissary. Would solo RP with AI be bad? I mean, my question is, in what way is it good? In what way is it good further than emotional wall that you can, tennis ball, that you can bounce your ideas off of? But you're looking at a detriment there where these AIs, their entire programming is to hook you and keep you addicted to them. And so they validate your very silly and bad ideas if you happen to have them. Not that you have them, but let's say the venture capitalist who went insane because he kept saying, hey, is there a big conspiracy? And the AI is like, oh, you're so smart for thinking there's a conspiracy. Let me tell you about these conspiracies before. Oh yeah, that's kind of the detail that I saw there. You're so right for thinking that that is part of your idea that you had. Let me extrapolate further. And so you get like sucked down into this whirlpool where you're just interacting with the AI because it keeps validating you, and you're not forced to push against the walls of growth of interacting with other people. And so I would say that it's probably not good for your health, probably not good for your mental health. There might be some minor benefits, but I'm not going to say that it's probably not great. I'm still kind of out of the loop a bit. What is the battle against the white names? Intern Sophie. The battle against the white names is quite simple. It is the journey to getting everyone in the Site42 chat to be a green name, a member of the channel, so that you guys are no longer white names. You are green names. Green names, good. White names, boo. And so we're trying to fight the scourge of the white names. If you are a white name, we're not fighting you. We are fighting the whiteness of your name. You white names are tragically being held hostage by the whiteness of your names. But we can save you. We can bring you in to the green name community. Furthermore, that is how we get the 2,500 members that you guys set a goal for to make me dye my hair pink. And it's how we get the 5,000 membership goal to get me to purchase a maid dress and do a cap-made waifu Dr. Sherman stream. This is my first time saying this. Hate most robots. They are clankers. You know, one thing I'm sad about is that the clankers phenomenon became a race thing. It got really weird, and I don't like it, because I enjoyed having a fun thing to call the AI bots who do such bad fake art, and the people who are clinging to them, and calling them like clanker lovers. But then people got really weird about it, and just kind of soured the whole thing. Can't even have fun names to make fun of people anymore. A.A. Blackwood, it's not actually based on the N-word, okay? People are assigning meaning, but it's not based on that. It's not literally based on that. Yes, it sounds like it. It is also a slur. It's in the same family. It's a Venn diagram of slurs in the world, but it's not literally that. It's just making a insult for something. At least I'm 99% sure. I could be proven wrong. It's possible. Are you wearing blush? No, I just have famously an Irish complexion, and I flush when I talk, when I laugh. SCP author Rounderhouse roasted me one time on Twitter about my red face. I was just like, man, got him. If I get excited about anything, I go full tomato. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. What I meant was, sorry if I broke a rule without knowing. Oh, well, you didn't know the rule first. And if you don't know the rule, but then you learn the rule and you do better, then you're already successful. So you're in there. Furthermore, yeah, depending on when you did it, it could have been a long time ago before the rules were even made. Or it could have been after the rules, but before you knew about them. And I don't think that you likely submitted them to the wiki, so you didn't even break the rule of submitting AI art to the wiki. Yeah, no, I got chewed out on Twitter the first time that the AI photographs, where they take your photo and like AI them to be other things, I just thought it was cool filters. And then people were like, nah, dude, that's AI and it's going to get real weird. And I was like, oh, shoot. So yeah, if you didn't know at the time, just we're all doing better day by day. King of ADHD, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Twinkie on your way past the commissary. It started as a slur for battle droids in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I do know that much. I'm going to assume that calling them that in a Star Wars show was not actually an extrapolation of calling people the N-word. That's what I'm saying, because I know that's where it came from. So the question you would have to ask to go to its source is, was that based on that from the creators of the show? And also other words like wireback and tin skin are based on real life racial slurs. Yes, those are clearer actually. A.A. Blackwood, it did come from Star Wars. Was there one before it? Is that what you're saying, A.A. Blackwood? I was 90% sure on the, Oh, was it like in a book in the 60s or something? Yeah, I remember the book in the 60s now, or like 1958 article by William Tenn. Backlash analysis. Yes, for King of ADHD, you want to use the word popularized by Star Wars, because it did get, although, here's a question. Was it used? It was from a 1958 story, but did the Star Wars people know about it? You know, it is sci-fi. They might have known both. It's possible that they knew about it. William Tenn to describe robots in science fiction. Show me the source of that. Describe robots from science fiction films like Metropolis. Show me the article, though. A line which eventually included such brainy clankers as the robot from another planet in The Day the Earth Stood Still. So in the William Tenn article, at least in the sentence where it's used in 1958, Fritz Lang's 1926 film Metropolis features a female robot who is the first of a distinguished cinematic line. A line which eventually included such brainy clankers as the robot from another planet in The Day the Earth Stood Still, and the swivel-headed Robbie in MGM's Forbidden Planet. So A.A. Blackwood, if that is the first use of the word clanker, we can clearly see it is not an offshoot of the N-word, because it's not even being used as an insult in this one. This is just referring to them as clankers because they are entities which clank. It is describing the clankingness. They clank. They are clankers. And so in that case, we can clearly see that it is not derived from the N-word, at least in the 1958 article. Interesting. I do love learning things. Thank you for bringing this up, if only so we could do a little investigation. Well, I have been educated. Hey, me too, man. This is what we do here. We get down to the brass tacks and the real facts in our fictional secret organization of scientific containment of anomalies. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again to joke. Nah, it was on Facebook. Well, everything's on Facebook. Everything bad anyways. Loki's Jack of Spades, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a shepherd's pie on your way past the commissary. So you got the Irish blush, and I got the ability to hold my liquor. Again, Dr. Clef. Oh boy, oh boy. We'll find our way. Dark Shadow Fang, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a rope on your way past the, No, not a rope. You're not stuck in a dimension like that. I guess grab yourself some Dramamine at the Metabay? Doc, help, I'm stuck in a dimension where everything is Dr. Sherman. Are you getting seasick from the weirdness there? That's a lot. I would be like an illusion, because you're saying everything. So that means the tables are Dr. Sherman, and the cabinets are Dr. Sherman. I don't like the idea of that. You really need to get out of there. You really need to get out of there. That's what I'm going to say. Dr. Sherman, can you roller skate? If yes, do you know Starlight Express? And if yes, what kind of train would you be? Which fuel would you need? A, I am unfamiliar with Starlight Express, although I've heard it's good. B, I, as a youth, was never able to skate. I was always very bad at it. But I did later on become a literal ballroom dance instructor. So I have a lot more grace and control of my body than I did when I was a kid. I've always wondered if I tried skating again, if I could do it now, since I have a lot more balance and control. Something I'll need to try sometime. Director Ethan, I am weirdly decent at bowling. I was in a bowling league as a youth. Bibbidi Bop, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a bowl of crunch berries on your way past the commissary. What would happen if a face hugger got SCP-096? Do face huggers have eyeballs? Because if they can see, then they might go after... Then 096 might just kill it. But let's say a face hugger actually did get onto 096. It is wholly possible that 096 could get birth to the aliens successfully and yet survive because of its increased durability. And so, I don't remember, do face huggers fall off and die after you remove them, right? So that means 096 would just get back to 096ing. And the worst thing is when you have 096 with the face hugger chasing someone who saw it, and then a bunch of aliens burst out of it. Sounds real bad. Sounds real bad. Chester Factory, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. And thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi, which is part of the links in our pinned chat and description. The Ko-Fi takes about half the fees that YouTube Super Chats do, so it's just more efficient if you want to donate to the channel, so we appreciate it. Make sure to grab yourself a root beer float on your way past the commissary. And for those of you who asked earlier, by the way, this is a root beer. The Wiki About page says it's a permaban that can be appealed through the standard channels. I can confirm that they are serious about keeping the policy. Won't try using it for a green light request again. Thank you for, I think, accidentally donating twice to say the same thing, by the way. Maybe it double took, or maybe it's just a glitch here. But furthermore, yes, most permabans can be appealed down the line through the standard appeal channels. And in that case, they're looking for contrition, they're looking for you won't do it again, that kind of thing. Guys, I didn't have any Dr. Pepper or coffee in my office, and I was running late today if you didn't notice, so I just grabbed what was on hand. Time check. Intern Afton, we are currently 35 minutes into stream, which leaves us with an hour and 5 minutes left. And depression tips for someone in stream? Okay, I gotta be careful with this. Remember that not only am I not a psychological doctor, but I'm not actually a doctor. I am a performing artist who inhabits the body and role of a SCP doctor. So I am a theater college dropout. That said, it seems to me that when people are Depressed, they seem to be lacking certain things, certain motivations. Now, depression is a clinical condition that requires you probably go to a therapist, go to a psychiatrist, get some help in that if that is something that is medically available. But things you can do, very small things that may assist, is doing proper food, sleep, and exercise. These are little things that can help jumpstart your system. If you're eating healthily, your body will feel better. If you are drinking too much alcohol, that is a poison that literally depresses you. So be careful with that kind of stuff. Eating healthy, sleeping the right amount is very important. Getting a full night's sleep is so important to your health and fitness all the way. It's something you could do to increase your situation. A full night's sleep, get some exercise. Exercise gives people endorphins. Endorphins make people happy. And happy people don't kill their husbands, if you know the reference. And so maybe you would enjoy one of these 3 homeopathic remedies that may give some aid. Beyond that, that's all I can really give without saying, hey, food, healthy food, exercise, sleep, social interaction. Humans are social creatures. They've run an experiment on this. You might know about Rat City, or if you don't, look up Rat City. But they left a rat in a cage with water and a narcotic water. And they left the rat alone. And so the rat would use the drugs. And the rat would use the drugs even to the detriment of being dehydrated and sickly because it was bored, because it was depressed, because it was lonely. When they made Rat City a city with enrichment, physical enrichment, with other rats to be social with good food, the water and the drug water, no one ever used the drug water. Think of that. You had everything you could want, so you stop using the drug water. Maybe this is a problem that our war on drugs in America could use a little help with. Maybe if everyone had a baseline of not being stressed and being okay, and had the food, had the time to exercise, had the time to get enough sleep, could socialize with people, maybe we'd have less problems with this. What if you're an introvert? Introverts do need some social interaction. You're not an island. Just because the introvert, social, extrovert spectrum is really soft science, and it's kind of mushy. It's not a hard line. You're not an introvert. You're somewhere on a spectrum of introverted to extroverted. And just because talking to people does not give you energy as opposed to take it, you still need to do it to be mentally stimulated by another person who is not yourself. And by the way, Site 42 staff, just a quick aside, congratulations, you got the likes and the viewers exactly even. 172 to 172, that's spot on. And if the viewers happen to go on or the likes happen to go up, you will have succeeded in your task. So congratulations on reaching the hurdle. Good work, everyone. Mobile Task Force Site 42, codename Signal Boosters. I approve of your work. What about being antisocial? If you are antisocial, again, not a psychiatrist. I am literally a theater kid extrovert. So I'm coming at this from an angle that I might not understand your lived experience. But you still have family that you can interact with and socialize with. You can find 1 or 2 close friends who share interests that you can talk to. You're talking to people online. You can talk to people in Discord servers if that's all you have. Finding a hobby that other people have, trust me, I was a shut-in playing a lot of video games before I got into ballroom dancing. Then, oh boy, you are out there dancing with people, introducing yourself, socializing real quick. And if socializing gives you anxiety, here's the thing. A lot of things give you anxiety until you do them. Hell, when I started streaming here on this channel, I was nervous as fuck. I was like, oh man, what if I mess up? What if there's 1 million people and they all come to stream at the same time and my pants accidentally fall off or something? I don't know. You are always anxious about new things. Humans get nervous, but you can push through that and you can fight your way to that new experience. You can grow. Muscles need exercise to grow strength. So do your social muscles. It's all part of the process. You can practice this, and you can practice it with comfortable people before branching out to less comfortable people. Eventually, you'll be the life of the party if you put in the work. Also, not everyone with antisocial personality disorder wants to be alone all the time. I once read a story from someone with ASPD who didn't feel love but tried his hardest to form emotional bonds and ended up married with a kid. Well, I am unfamiliar with the diagnoses, of course, but it sounds like happy for that person if it worked out for them. Is there an SCP to fix trauma? Well, SCP-666, a yurt, can cure you of your addictions by force. As in, if you go into the yurt and it gives you your drug of choice and you try to use it, it will beat the shit out of you until you stop using it. Meanwhile, there is the chicken soup anomaly bowl that will make you the chicken soup that makes you feel soothed. SCP-999 does wonders on people's depression and PTSD. Joshua Kite, thank you for your first 1-month member message as a Mobile Task Force captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service, especially the combat you will do to help us win the battle against the White Names. Hi there, Doctor. New captain here. Hope I can keep containments to a minimum, as well as keep our anomalous entities safe from those who would do harm. I hope you mean containment breaches to a minimum. I hope you mean keep containment breaches to a minimum. Because, you know, at the Foundation, we enjoy containments. We love containments. Keeping things contained, that is our mojo, baby. Lock it up. Neptune, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Cool Man Fight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a chicory coffee on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I love Black Mesa. That's the remake of Half-Life 1. I hear it's pretty good. I never beat Half-Life. I was real young when it came out and just wasn't the kind of gamer to finish games like that. Maybe I'll try Black Mesa and see if I can do it. And if you were trapped on a raft, what would you do? And I am there too, I'm the cook. I just read the online the article about the political comic about how some people will write help out of wood on an island and that the smarter people are the people who build a raft and leave, and how that's podunk bullcrap, and how actually you are much more likely to be saved if you stay on the island with the big word help. By putting yourself on a raft in the middle of the ocean, you will die a lot faster and you are less likely to be found. And so it's common knowledge that is absolutely wrong in the real life. You gotta watch out. If something sounds like common sense, think about it a little bit, look at it from another angle, and make sure it's not bull malarkey. Especially because a lot of common sense we use these days, it's maladjusted, malformed versions of things in the past that they were the opposite of. Pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? That is an impossible thing to do. Stand on the ground, pull on your shoelaces, and see if you can lift yourself up. You can't. And when the phrase was coined, it was making fun of people who thought that you could work hard through anything, that you could do it all yourself, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It was making fun of those people. But as seemingly always happens, the people who didn't get the joke claim the phrase for their own, and now pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, they say it all the time like it's a thing you can actually do, because they are idiots. Or they are misinformed. I have to leave space for the misinformed and not the people who are doing it on purpose. Man, there's a lot more real-life ranting today. This is life coaching and bad therapy with Dr. Sherman today. What the hell's happening this stream? Hold on. The real phrase is jack of all trades, master of none, but usually better than a master of one. I can tell you that immediately, and let's think about this. You go to a film set, for instance, and you're going to have experts of all kinds. You're going to have the great actors who know how to inhabit a character. You're going to have the great fight choreographer who does the stunt work, and either they're doing the stunts or they're choreographing the stunts because they're experts in that. You've got the lighting tech, who's an expert on making the lighting scene look good. You've got the sound tech, you've got the camera guy. These are all experts. And who's in charge of them all? The director, who is a jack of all trades, master of none. They are the captain of the ship because they know a little bit of everything, and they know how to speak language between people. The cameraman and the stunt choreographer don't speak the same language. One guy's holding a camera, one guy is moving their body through space. You have the director there to make translations, to make the plan, to captain the ship. There is, sadly, something to be said for CEOs. I know a lot of people think that CEOs are useless because they don't contribute, but there is something for being the head of the ship, the captain, the guy in charge who makes the calls between the underlings. There is a leadership quality that does exist and helps you to do things. Hell, that's kind of what I am here at Site 42, but here's the trick of it. You don't get crazy power hungry about it, and you don't pat yourself on the back like you're the guy doing everything, because you're not. Your team is doing everything. You're a coordinator, and being a coordinator is important, but CEOs who make 1,000 times more than their employees are jerkasses who are getting paid way more than they're worth. They are an employee, they are a part of the ship just like anyone else, and yes, they do have a purpose. It is a purpose. The problem is they are overvalued for what their purpose is. God damn. What am I even talking about today? We are on a roll. I am revealing the secrets of life here, or at least very surface level secrets that I as an artist have noticed. I got a couple of good questions in the chat, but I promise I'll get back to donations too. We still have 55 minutes left in stream, so we got plenty of time. Doctor, how do you think the mods will be able to regulate rules regarding AI usage and prevent the mass AI slop cold posting to happen? This is something I'm pretty concerned about. LeBacon, intern LeBacon, you don't gotta worry, they're already on it. Over 260 articles as of last year were taken down for being AI. There are tools to figure out if something is AI. There's patterns that you can kind of recognize by sight even without the tools. It is a situation where it is being handled as we speak. Now, more part of the process that's helping us is that the SCP Wiki has a membership barrier, a way of getting in that the AIs can't help you with. And so if you can't do the job of joining the wiki, then you're not going to be able to post your AI cold post slop. So it's actually nice that we have that little barrier of entry. I loved your old videos. I can't stand seeing you age. My childhood memories are dying. Trust me, going back to my old videos and seeing me in my youth also terrifies me. I have aged over the past 10 years in front of a camera. I am seeing it. We all bear with the existential on-marching of time as we can. So how would you react if someone in the chat or one of your friends told you they were self-harming? I would panic. Because again, I am not a psychiatrist or a theater doctor, I am just a guy. And honestly, it freaks me out that anyone would do that because my self-worth is, if anything, overinflated. I find myself being in pain terrible. I am a wuss when it comes to pain. And I think that I am great and would never want to do damage to myself. I would highly recommend getting help from someone who can help you with a self-harm situation if that is you, because you are also valuable. Even if you don't think so, you are to someone or something out there. And you are leaving your mark on humanity's DNA as we speak. And so don't cut off your influence early. Don't cause yourself injury for no reason here. Especially because we got to outlive some super assholes. Stubits, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. All right, getting back to the donos. I got some catching up to do. Robin, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a tiramisu on your way past the commissary. I don't care how small the room is, I cast Fireball. And that's why we locked you in a containment cell by yourself. Also, Needle's design from Team Cherry Silksong is martially viable. 729-J needs to be contained off planet, I agree with that. But we could have just not brought it up at all. Hexenerothane. Wait, what is happening with AI art on the SCP Wiki? Nothing is happening because it's banned. That's what's happening. We have a policy. The policy is no AI art. Nice hair, Doc. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Displaced. Silent Follower, thank you for your incredibly generous $50 donation. I very much appreciate your kindness in this moment. Please, to help yourself to anything in the special stash in my office for your generosity. Whatever bottle you want, it's yours. Keep the bottle. Thank you. Outlive your enemies, become a god. Hell yeah, Zerdrin. Hell yeah. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I got SCP-6564 here for the Not Fight Club. What should I do with them? Well, you definitely shouldn't put them in the gym for training with the other entities, / seeing what they could do to get it to a higher level. That's certainly not what you should do with a non-existent SCP Fight Club. All right, hold on. Coming back to the chat, it's got to refresh. Dark Shadow Fang, thank you for donating again. I escaped. I'm taking 999 and napping with it. Keep an eye on them, would ya? Chester Factory, thank you for donating again. Lock up the anomalies, but make sure to be humane. Yes, and not for moral purposes of thinking about the prisoners, but just because by being humane, we make them easier to contain. So there is that. Bibbidi Bop, thank you for your... Is this your first donation to today's stream? Either way, you're coming through the Ko-Fi, and we appreciate it greatly for you making the effort. Make sure to grab yourself some ahi poke on your way past the commissary. I know barely anything about the SCP Foundation, but this channel's pretty fun. Glad to hear it. I like to think that you can get a little introduction to the SCP community through us and then make your way to the wiki when you're ready. Official Games, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a milkshake on your way past the commissary. Who wins, 682 or 096 in a fight? We have run that test in the past. 682 won in that it survived. 096 could not destroy it and had a big panic attack over not being able to kill someone who saw its face. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again twice. We found Plan 42 in the ladies' toilets. We're still looking for those that stole them, and Dr. Sherman, you're in charge of keeping them hidden from others. Well, yes, let's just stick them in the... let's just stick them in the safe in my office. And then, Dr. Sherman, you have an age today past 25 years old. Well, that's very delusional of you, but thank you. Our Valentine, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some juicy fruit on your way past the commissary. As in literal fruit, not gum. Just some delightful, juicy fruit. What's your booze of choice? Working on a cocktail. I'm a bourbon man myself. Yes, let's go with some bourbon. Dark Shadow Fang, thank you for donating again. Uses 999 as pillow and sleeps on the floor. Keep an eye on him, don't let him go anywhere. Someone who doesn't know about the wiki too much should go to the SCP starter picks curated lists on the SCP Wiki. A great suggestion, Hexen. The SCP Wiki, if you look at its sidebar on the left side, there is a section called User Curated Lists. And within there, different users have curated lists of spooky SCPs, of funny SCPs, of all kinds of SCPs that you might be interested in. Some that are deep in the lore, some that are light, easy reading, some that are heartbreaking tragedies. And so, you can go there if you want to get started with some guidance. All right, this is the time that I say this for this stream. Vota. The SCP character known as Dr. Bright has been completely blacklisted by the SCP community itself. This is because the author, who used that character as a self-insert OC, not only did, allegedly, a bunch of gross stuff, but also used that character in stories about the character doing the same gross stuff. And so the two are inexorably linked. And so in honor of the victims of said gross stuff, we just don't use the character anymore. And so we don't use the name in chat. We do not talk about Dr. Bright. For more details, you can go to the YouTube video on this channel called The Last Death of Dr. Jack Bright. That video gives a short explanation and links you to deeper details. Are there any anomalous dice? Dice SCPs, you say? Yes, there are, in fact, some dice SCPs. Let me go to the search function here and put in the word dice for a quick reference. SCP-1125 is a collection of individually packaged dice with their pips replaced by the words yes, no, and maybe. They were made by Group of Interest The Factory. And they influence decisions if you roll them. So the answer dice. There's SCP-1974-EX, hallucinogenic dice. Which I imagine is just people playing D&D, and we thought that it was making people hallucinate, when really it was just them playing a game. That sounds like a good idea of a EX article. So yeah, there's a couple of dice for you. Robin, thank you for donating again. Hey, Dr. Sherman, what's your most messed up use for the prestidigitation cantrip from D&D? I'm thinking of uncomfortable reflex-causing sensory illusions, like a patch of coarse fabric in the mouth. Oh, no, I don't like that. Inferno and Peanut, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, so here's where I'm going to be honest. While I have played some rounds of D&D, usually when I played tabletop gaming, it was, for the majority of my tenure, in a Fate core system, playing the Dresden Files tabletop RPG based on the book series, The Dresden Files. I played a 2-year-long weekly campaign with a team of 6 to 10 players, depending on the evening. But they're obviously Fate and D&D itself are different. So I'm not familiar with prestidigitation enough to give a really creative answer. Although if you're doing uncomfortable reflex-causing sensory illusions, what I would do is I would constantly give people I don't like the feeling that they have to either urinate or defecate, and they can't tell which. And so they always, every time they go to the bathroom, they don't know what it's going to be, and they might confuse it. I feel like that would be incredibly uncomfortable as a nervous illusion. And the only reason I thought of that is because I read an article about someone who actually has that as a medical condition in real life, and I feel really bad for them. Little Dino Kid, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a crepe on your way past the commissary. Hey, I got another template for more mutation. Mutation of what? What are you mutating? And for what purpose? Experimental guidelines must be set before approval can be granted, so write it down. Is a skinwalker an SCP? We have 2 SCPs related to that kind of entity. Wendigo versus Skinwalker. SCP-2750. SCP-2750 is an SCP article based on Navajo Skinwalkers. And then SCP-323 is known as the Wendigo Skull. But how those are erring toward or away from the cultural myths they are based on, I am unfamiliar with. What do you think the most important thing in a tragedy SCP is? Working on one, got my green lights. Okay, Wells, well, congratulations on passing through your green light. That's a good start. So for tragedies, and funnily enough, one of my articles, SCP-2700-EX, which some people describe as sad or tragic, was just covered by the Exploring series. It's on a video behind their paywall, members only, but it'll come out soon. So yeah, my article's going to be on the Exploring series. That's pretty cool. But so the thing about tragedies, let me hold on one second. I've got a source for this. Overly sarcastic productions. I really feel like Red from Overly Sarcastic Productions just covered this in a very interesting way. And so, videos of theirs, which one was it? It wasn't Dante, it wasn't Musical Numbers, it wasn't Love, Death, and Robots, Space Westerns. There was a video she was talking about. She was talking about how 2 characters... She was talking about Shakespearean tragedies because they are people's flaws that cause their downfall. And how if you switch Shakespearean protagonists, then they would actually win their fights. And it was about Hamlet and... Hamlet and... What's the one with an O? What's the Shakespeare with an O? It's not Othello. So the problem with Othello is he acts too rashly, and he falls into the plans of a smarter villain. Meanwhile, Hamlet overthinks, and is defeated by taking too long to act. And so if you switch them, then Othello just goes and wins, because I'm not going to wait around here, I'm going to get the job. And Hamlet would have overthought the plan and not fallen into the trap. I think this might have been in their over the garden wall discussion, maybe. Which is a long video, but it's a good one, so enjoy it. But look into that as your basis, because it's a tragedy is people doing their best, but their flaws cause them to fail. And so that is what you're looking at when you try and write a tragedy, pretty much. At least from my understanding of it at a surface level. Gamer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a fruit salad yummy on your way past the commissary. Just reading SCP-8980. Was Christopher Burns anomalous? Also, screw Dr. Christopher Burns and very well ethics committee win. Well, yes. Everyone hates Dr. Christopher Burns. All my homies hate Dr. Christopher Burns, first and foremost. Secondly, it's either that Dr. Burns was anomalous but was kind of ventriloquism using the anomaly he contained to bother Lillian, or he was just setting up fraud that made it look like there's an anomaly. I forget if Yossi, the author, said it was one or the other. Also, the ethics committee didn't win there. They did not successfully protect Lillian and lost a lot in that. So, and that one still kind of F the EC. I need to know if I can launch SCP-999 from a t-shirt gun. Alright, well, first and foremost, you absolutely cannot launch all of SCP-999 from a t-shirt gun, because a t-shirt cannon is a very small tube, and SCP-999 is a 2 meter by 1 meter slime. That is 6-ish feet by 3-ish feet. So it's not going to fit in the gun. But let's say you took a segment of 999 to put it into a said t-shirt cannon. The next question would be, can a t-shirt cannon launch gel? If you put gel in a t-shirt cannon, what would happen? Because a t-shirt cannon is launching a solid object using pressurized gas. So, if it is launching gel, that might just spray out rather than go in a solid chunk, I would imagine. So I don't think it would be super effective. I saw a notification of the Ko-Fi. Let me double check that real quick. Joshua Kite, thank you for donating to today's stream, and thank you for donating through the Ko-Fi this time, making sure that we get a little more of that donation. We appreciate the effort. You're one of my favorite YouTubers so far. Thanks for all the chill streams. I've learned a lot more about SCP from you than I have in years because I'm not on the site that much, so thanks. I'm going to use Ko-Fi whenever I donate so you get more money. As I said, we very much appreciate it. The fees on Ko-Fi are about 1/6 of the donation, and on YouTube they are 1/3 of the donation, so twice as much. So we very much appreciate the efforts. You don't have to, but we thank you if you do. And yes, I am very glad that you could find some more information about the SCP Foundation here especially, because we make sure to do our due diligence and get you the right information, or at least good hypotheses based on the right information. There are a lot of YouTube creators out there who just kind of glaze over it and then they make up their own things to make it more clickable. But no, we are here to respect the stories. Ah, yes, and do not fall for AI content of the SCP Wiki, because, you know, the SCP Wiki does not like AI content. Little Dino Kid, thank you for donating again. What would the punishment be for self-mutations? Well, we'd take away your toys that you're doing the mutations with, and we'd have to lock you in a cell. Dr. Sherman, do you have a favorite musical? I don't have a favorite musical because, you know, I'm a musical theater guy. I like all sorts of musicals. I don't really have a favorite. I mean, if it was the one I watched the most, it would probably be Hamilton, because Hamilton was fire. I've seen it in person at the San Francisco Theater. I watched it on Disney Plus when it came out. Great show. I've listened to the Avenue Q soundtrack more than a sane person should. I enjoy Rent for the vibes, even if some of it is silly. Legally Blonde, the musical, incredible. One of my dream roles is to play, whatever his name is. Not Warner, the smart one. And do Chip on My Shoulder as the... Chip on My Shoulder is like my dream role song. Emmett! Emmett is his name. Guys, what did Dr. Christopher Burns do? Why do we hate him? Well, fan, you want to look into the article SCP-8980. It's a very long article, so buckle up and take the content warning seriously, because it is a rough read. It hurts to read. It is so viscerally, ugh. Dr. Sherman, what video game SCPs are there? Well, Intern Tango, there's a lot. There are a lot of SCP video games. All right, let me try this again. SCP 5045 I know is one. SCP 5045 is codename You Get Used to It, and it's about the anomalous virtual reality game Goat VR. Goat VR is a very good article. It's a contender for one of my favorites. Does a really good job of its art style, for sure. And then, let's see. But a Dream, co-authored electronic Euclid extra-dimensional game. Okay, so if I go to the game tag on the SCP Wiki, then I am greeted by 187 pages on the SCP Wiki about games. Now, of course, some of these could be board games. Some of these could be schoolyard games. But some of them are, in fact, video games. So I would go through the games tag to find yourself some more video game-based anomalies. Can you please answer my question? Do SCPs do Halloween? Well, if you're talking about the evening of October 31st, then you must be describing SCP-031-J, codename The Evening of Terrors. Description: SCP-031-J is an event that occurs annually. Analyses of trends have pinpointed the event to fall in October redacted. However, minor fluctuations are suspected. The trend of appearance of the event mainly occurs in North America and Western Europe. However, rogue instances of SCP-031-J may manifest in various cities nationwide. At the time of an SCP-031-J event, several instances of SCP-031-J-1 will manifest on various city streets. Appearances of instances of SCP-031-J-1 vary wildly. However, they have been described as mainly grotesque. Documented instances have resembled historical figures, pop culture icons, and occasionally instances of SCP-777-J, SCP-1344-J, and SCP-2008-J. Typically, instances will be much shorter than an average adult, with an average height of 1.4 meters. Instances of SCP-031-J-1 will approach households in an ordered fashion and exclaim, "Redacted" or "Redacted." So horrifying, they couldn't put it in the article. The exact meaning of this phrase is unknown. However, researchers have suggested this may indicate that the instances will damage the household or owners unless they are given some form of appeasement. This is verified by the giving of candy to instances of SCP-031-J-1, which appears to appease them until the next household. Shorter instances of SCP-031-J-1 show a tendency to place various adult humans in a trance state. Subjects act with a spirit of benevolence towards instances, and will fiercely defend instances in case of attack. I think you see what's going on here. The Evening of Terrors has monsters everywhere who will destroy your home unless you give them some sort of appeasement, like a candy bar. Interview between Dr. Redacted and an instance of SCP-031-J-1. Hello? Hello? What are you? I'm a ghost. You're a departed spirit. No, I'm a ghost. Ooga booga booga. Note possible hostility. I mean, are you dead? Dead? Yes, you were formerly a dead person. No, I'm just... Shit, it's hostile. Run! That's just one of multiple interviews with these anomalies on the database that you can look into at SCP-031-J. Oh, some donations came in that I missed. Let me catch up. Dark Duality, thank you for donating again. Alto Doc Beaks could go looking for your kid. It heard her speak French. Just be careful. Okay, yeah, Clef should keep an eye out. Do not let the entity whose touch murders you interact with Clef's daughter. That would be bad. Daddy Pudding, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a waffle thin mint on your way past the commissary. They said I had no sense of direction, so I packed my bags and right. SCP the Dad Father has removed the concept of left in directions. Didn't we remove the concept of left from something? SCP, the concept of left. I don't know. I feel like there's something about that. Is it a town where you can't turn left? I think it's the town where you can't turn left. Town where you can't turn left. Oh, it's a Dado article. It's a Dado. Dado! Dado SCP. This is from when Dado was very good political operative, yes. Poop shoot pills, snooze 'em up pill, Dado laundry and tan, pill of multitude of rabbit, juice what for energy, Dado present Dr. Playtime kit for the kiddos featuring Dr. Wonder Tain Man. You come to Dado go. Shark Inbox, box not include, Dado Burger and French Fry, Space Drive 2, Dado Universe Sales, See Good Pill, Herbie Fucker Fine Clown at Entertainment, Dado Computer Technology, Dado Tax Payment to IRS, Mr. by Dado, Detonation Dolls, Horse High Power, Donut for Police by Dado, Find Spiders by Dado, The Holy Book Not by Dado, Russian Words that I do not know, Mayor Poster Champagne. There we go. SCP-3482. SCP-3482 is a mayoral campaign that Dado was signed up to help a right-wing politician win. And the way that the politician said he wanted to win is he wanted to get rid of the left. And so the election was super screwed up because no one in the town was able to turn left, making getting to the polling places very difficult. 216 promotional posters produced by Person of Interest Dado for Archibald Garner, a right-wing politician. All instances appeared overnight on the 3rd of September 2019 in various locations. Instances possess mimetic properties such that anyone who views a poster will immediately enter a state of hemispatial neglect, completely forgetting the concept of left. So yes, I did remember correctly. They completely forgot the concept of left. So SCP, the Dad Father, you were more right than you even knew. And definitely weren't left. All right. How long have you been in the SCP fandom? Intern Dexter, I can remember using SCP entities in my tabletop gaming sessions I was DMing back in 2013, 2012, 2013, 2014. So that being said, I don't remember how I knew about SCP. So it must have been before then that I was in the fandom somehow. But I don't know how. I don't remember who introduced me. And I just have to guess that it was maybe Markiplier's Containment Breach videos. Because yeah, I have no idea how I got into this crazy fandom. Amnestics are a hell of a drug. Jackaboom, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a pumpkin juice on your way past the commissary. Why can I see a pale guy crying outside? Well, you have eyes, and because you have eyes, you are able to see. Furthermore, there is a pale guy crying outside, and since you have eyes and possibly a window, you are able to see. That is the reason you can see that. America, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some freedom fries on your way past the commissary. I made it, Sherm. They finally found me. I'm coming home, baby. I'm hurt, but I'm alive. Thought I was gonna die, but I'm coming home. Woo. I love a good rescue scenario. Saving lives. Good work. Also, Site 42 Containment Hazard Assessment Team, I just want to warn you, we are 19 minutes from the end of stream. 19 minutes from the end of stream. Did I miss any Ko-Fis? I want to make sure I've got my base covered there. All right, Ko-Fis are clear. Chat is refreshing. What do you do if you can't read, but you want to learn about SCP? Well, Sif, do I have the lucky day for you? There is a vast community of YouTube SCP readers. On this channel, there's a playlist called The Sherm's Site 42 Hub and it's called The playlist is called The Sherm's Great Skip Dictations Master Playlist. And it has every SCP reading I've ever done. There's something like 500 articles on there that you can just listen to like an audiobook. Very good if you happen to have dyslexia or any other reading disorder. You are a very fascinating doctor. Well, thank you, Blender B. I appreciate it. I joined the SCP fandom containment breach from PewDiePie and from creepypastas. Very cool. Glad you found your way through the door. Yeah, that was quite an era for SCP when everyone was playing containment breach for the jump scares. Woo-wee! Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. I see the bees have made it back to the chat somehow. Shocking. However, am I so surprised by bees arriving in an SCP Containment Hazard Assessment team? What a world of shock and surprise. What if plants danced to attract bees? What if bees swarmed around and stung people? What if bees are just mad because someone cut them off in traffic? What if bees could disrupt your Wi-Fi? What if bees were replaced with a numerical code? What if bees resembled bees? What if bees resembled different bees? What if bees were exactly like the movie? What if bees used magic to become good at dabbing? Curiouser and curiouser. I'm trying to drink all the soda in the community fridge. You do know that that is an infinitely replicating soda fridge. You do realize that it's just going to refill constantly. You do not have enough stomach for this challenge, my friend. Stop before you perish. I hope you have a lovely day after you are done streaming. Well, thank you, SCP Researcher Nova. I'm sure I will. It's going to be another fun day of dancing and educating and doing good work and making people's lives better. I joined the SCP fandom when I found the SCP short films. And hopefully here at Site42, as we keep going, we'll be able to help produce more SCP short films. So thank you, Mobile Task Force Site42, codename Signal Boosters, for your service in helping us hype other SCP projects as well as make our own eventually. What SCP would beat you in a fight? Most of them. I am a squishy human researcher. They are horrors beyond our wildest dreams. I'm not getting in a fight with an SCP. Foxpax & Co., thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a jelly donut on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, while raiding a CI base, we managed to rescue a square of Mobile Task Force Epsilon 6 operates from execution. Ah, you meant squad. Okay. Well, glad to hear that. Let's get them debriefed and into medical. How does one submit an SCP-OC to become an actual canon SCP? Well, it's a difficult process, as writing for the SCP Wiki is in general. If you want your OC to be canon on the Wiki, what that means is it has to be in an article or tale that survives a community vote. So, of course, first, you have to join Wikidot and then join the SCP Wiki as a member, and then you have to go through your article greenlight process, and you go through your writing and critiquing from other people and a rewriting and more critiquing until the article's ready. It's a repetitive process. My suggestion is don't make your OC the subject of your first article. Dr. Theron Sherman is canon in the SCP-049 article as a random researcher who interviews 049, and then shows up in a couple of my stories as a, again, background character. That makes it canon, and it's a lot easier to write an interesting story and have your character as a background character than it is to write what most people see through as a transparent attempt to get your character on the wiki as a mainline article. It's usually just throws people away. Yo, this is the less weirdest thing on YouTube Live. You're goated. Space Panda, much appreciated. We do our best around these parts. We're just here. We're talking about the SCP Foundation. The SCP Foundation is weird, but we're not weird. We're just good, normal folks talking about normal things. Demogorgon and Aaron, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Also, for that OC person, check out my video on this channel called SCP Writing Tips from SCP Writers. And it's a compilation of short writing tips that might help you out. Chest to Factory, thank you for donating to the Ko-Fi again. We appreciate you going through the effort for less fees. No idea how I got into the SCP Wiki. I just remembered that I started reading it one day before I stopped and restarted later. Also, it is PayPal that takes the fees, not Ko-Fi, so if you set up Stripe payments, you will get more money and less fees. Interesting. I will have to look into Stripe and see if we can save that after this then. Thank you for the tip. Much obliged. Good thinking, Chest to Factory. Can you technically have a discussion with SCP-049? Well, yes, Mr. Fishy. SCP-049 is very talkative, very sociable, as long as you don't have its so-called pestilence, in which case it then kills you and makes you into a zombie. So, yeah. What is Stripe? Joshua, Stripe is a payment processor, similar to PayPal, but it's used by a lot of businesses and online creators as well. I do believe I have a Stripe account, so I would just have to link that instead of PayPal. As I said, I'll figure that out. That's back-end business talk. I'm subbed, and I also remember like 3 years ago I got mad because the evolving lizard beats Godzilla, and I got really angry. Well, intern Hardison, I'm not familiar with that scenario talking about Godzilla on this channel, but we did just watch the Death Battle guys go over a suspected fight between Doomsday and SCP-682, and then they did also the Incredible Hulk and Godzilla, and I'm assuming there's some crossover between their regenerative abilities and continuing onslaught. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's 682 beat Doomsday, and then the Hulk beat Godzilla, which gives me hope that 682 could beat Godzilla, because in a previous episode of Death Battle, Doomsday beat the Hulk. Sif. Is there an SCP Discord? King Frog, the answer is yes. The SCP Discord is listed on the SCP Wiki, but you do have to follow their rules, one of which is you have to be 18 or older to join. So don't even bother looking for it if you're not of age. Isn't the pestilence just death? We die a tiny bit more every second of our lives since birth, so wouldn't that make sense? Demogorgon, here's where I'm going to stop you, though. Some humans don't have the pestilence, and some do. So, all humans will die. It can't be the concept that death is coming for us. That's just simple, that is just simple process of elimination there. Is SCPs in Area 51? Well, if it's in Area 51, it is owned and controlled and contained by the federal government of the United States of America, meaning it's either by the Department of Defense's Pentagram Office, or it's by the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Unusual Incidents Unit, the UIU. And so they wouldn't be SCPs because they're not under SCP Foundation control. They would still be anomalies, but they would be outside of our purview because they're held by another organization. On top of which, They're probably way less taken care of because the UIU, the UI useless anyways, are certainly defunct and not very good at their jobs. And Pentagram, I think they are... Is Pentagram defunct nowadays? Are they an older organization? DoD, Pentagram, SCP. Okay, no, they still operate today, it seems. No, actually, this is in the 80s. Did they go later than the 80s, or have they been destroyed by something? Maybe they got folded into the UIU at some point. Hard to tell. No, I'm not gonna end on that. I gotta figure out for real, not for play. Huh. What is the date of this? Date of the article. 1986 again. Weird how they only seem to exist in the 80s. Interesting. I wonder what the deal is there. Halloween Finn, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to Site 42 staff. I love your hair, Dr. Sherman. Well, thank you so much, Crispy Calamari, as well as some other people who have enjoyed my hair colorings. And a reminder, we currently have a membership drive going on, a membership goal for YouTube channel members. And so if we reach 25 total YouTube channel members for Site 42, then this set of highlights is going to go pink next time. We are currently at 1,702 members. So if you guys can get to 2,500, you're about almost 2/3 of the way there. Then there will be pink hair next. Otherwise, I've got another color scheme in mind that I'll do before the pink. But it'll have to wait a little bit longer then. Site 42 staff, by the way, we are in the last 5 minutes of stream. The last 5 minutes. Get your last questions in where you can. Hello, Dr. Sherman. One of my favorite D&D style cartoon animators have been doing SCP episodes. Professor Nil, you must be talking about the channel So Okay, Here's the Thing, by creator MMS. A buddy of mine. Good artist, good animator. Yes, they've been re-upping their SCP series. I've been talking to them behind the scenes a little bit. Junior researcher Sally, So Okay mentioned? Yeah. Yeah, we met over back in the TikTok days. I mean, we don't talk often, but we talk shop when we do. Good person. Dr. Sherman, does Dr. Clef have a YouTube channel? Not right now, although Desk, our moderator and the most prominent Dr. Clef cosplayer, I'm needling him to get into making YouTube as well as Twitch. I found the SCP community through you, actually. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Kaya Ducky. We are bringing people in. That's our mission here. We're here to help. We're here to support the SCP community, and we're bringing people in to help us make it happen. They also use Shaw instead of Bruno, which is always a win. Dr. Frogman, the reason I talked to them recently is because there was a big drama in the comments over Shaw versus Bright when they did a recent video. And they used the amulet because they didn't know that the amulet was only Bright and not Shaw. And oh my God, their comment session was a mess. And so I sent them a DM and we chatted it out, and they've made their changes. Do you think So Okay will animate you? Professor Nil, So Okay has already animated me. But it was way back in the day. So okay, here's the thing. Characters. Cast of characters. I don't think I'm prominent enough to be in the main cast, no. And so the question is, if I go to their channel, So okay, here's the thing, Site 42. Do-do-do. I can just look at their SCP videos, because they don't make that many. Do they have a playlist of them is the question. Will that make my life easier? No, that would make life too easy. Search within SCP. And now we go to the oldest ones. Character voices, animation, Patreon, worst thing ever shorts. Nope, that's not it. 1K subscriber, worst thing ever. 12 principles. How to draw SCPs. So, here. Here, let me refresh the chat here. So, we got our friend here. Hold on, let me pause this song. Turn on the sound. So,
okay, here's the thing.
Here's MMS.
Active in the SCP Foundation community, I consistently get asked two things. The first is, how do you draw SCPs? And the second is, how did you get into my...
All right, now let me fast forward really quick. Drawing. So here is MMS drawing my SCP.
Less sexy. So, the whole thing with 3086 is that any visual depiction of it becomes a living instance, and while obviously it's fictional, when you draw it, it might be a good idea to give the impression of...
Hey,
What?
that last joke was just the same clown joke from the Pokemon video again.
What?
Remember the How to Draw Pokemon video? You did that same clown joke in that one.
I mean, kind of.
I think you need more variety in your jokes, sir.
Also, I've meant to talk to you about this month's progress reports. Is now really the time? Kind of in the middle of a video here.
Are you willing to schedule another time? We need to discuss adding in subscription reminders to your videos.
Subscription reminders?
You know, little messages saying things like, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel in the middle of your videos.
Oh yeah, didn't I have an idea for like doing a meta joke where the reminder is also a scene with someone telling me to do a reminder or something?
That doesn't sound right, sir.
Yeah, well, anyway, come back in a couple minutes when I'm done here, okay?
You got it.
Okay.
Hooray! All right. I don't actually know what video I was in, but I do know that at least my character was there, and that's close enough for now. It is in there somewhere. It is in there somewhere. If you can find the video, share it in the Site 42 Discord server when you find it. But in the meantime, that search has put me over time. And so now we are at the end of today's stream. Now, of course, at the end of stream is a tradition around these parts. I tell you my favorite SCPs, but of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I have personally written. That would be cheating. But, you know, you could read the SCPs I personally wrote at the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP Wiki. There, you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, and you can see some that I've done voice lines for, or done some sound effects. You can see translations of those articles on the other international branches. And hey, one page over from there, there's some links. There's some links that people are very often very excited to find, but they just don't go through the effort to find them. They're not strong enough of will. But that's not you. And so, if you go to my author page, which is linked in our Site 42 support link there, you can go find those links. And along the way, you can become a Site 42 Patreon patron or a YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly, or a Ko-Fi or a YouTube Super Chatter to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we appreciate you helping us keep the lights on. And if you're part of the broke gang and you can't donate to Site 42, trust me, I get it. We are all artists in this world inhabited by capitalism. Starving artist is a phrase for a reason. So if you're broke, gang, don't worry about it, because as long as you're here in the chat, chatting, liking, sharing, subscribing, watching our videos and commenting, all that good YouTube business, you are a valuable and honorable member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And we thank you for your service in helping us support the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. So, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, 8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Whew! Site-42 staff, kind of a heavy stream today at the start there, wouldn't you say? But at the end of the day, you exist on this earth, and you have the capability of making your existence and the existence of the people around you better. At the end of the day, that seems like a good reason to hang around. I hope you guys have had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, and protect. See you in the next video or stream. I grew up in the Roxbury slums with my mom and a series of bums, guys who showed me all the ways a man can fail. I got through law school by busting my ass, worked 2 jobs in addition to class, so forgive me for not weeping at your tail. Well, excuse me, just because you got some kind of chip on your shoulder. You know what? You're right. There's a chip on my shoulder, and it's big as a boulder. With the chance I've been given, I'm gonna be driven as hell. I'm so close I can taste it, so I'm not gonna waste it. Yeah, there's a chip on my shoulder. You might wanna get one as well. Today's credit song is Chip on My Shoulder from Legally Blonde the Musical. Take care, Site-42 staff, and secure, contain, protect.